I want to look at taking a standard title, opening it in Motion, tweaking it there and saving it as a template in Final Cut. So if I don't have it open already, I want to have my titles browser open here on the bottom right hand corner, T for title, and I'm going to come down here into the title section all. I'm going to burrow down here into the lower thirds and I'm going to take a title as a starting point. I'm going to use the information bar again, and I'm going to just switch over to the Finder level very quickly to look at something here. I go to the Finder level and I see here this following path: Macintosh users, my username, movies, motion templates, titles, lower thirds. And I make a mental note, as of now I've got 2 elements, custom elements I saved in here, but this is going to change very shortly. I'm going to do a right hand mouse click or a control click to open this in Motion. I'm actually opening a copy of this in Motion. I'm going to go back to the Finder level for a second, and the first thing I notice here is I now have a new folder here in the path that I just mentioned. I come in here to Motion and I can tweak my title here. I can select the elements in the canvas. This gets a little bit tricky, for example, if I want to select the text, because I end up actually selecting the bar. So a good thing to know about is the X button, and that kind of flies everything apart. It's like an expose function. And also I should really switch over here on the left hand side to the inspector, and this means depending on what I'm selecting, the inspector will change and it will show me the different elements, the different parameters for the different elements I am selecting. And I should also be aware here of, for example, the transparent background, or the view menu here. I should come in here and I should have a look at the safe zones. This is the action safe and the title safe. If I'm delivering for broadcast, this is important, and I need to talk to my broadcaster about where exactly the titles need to go. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to select this title here, the bottom title. I don't actually want that, and I'm going to select it and delete it. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to select that box, and I can do some of this editing directly in the canvas. So I drag this across to make it wider, and of course I do more detailed editing in my inspector here on the left hand side. So for example, I want to change the color of that bar. I'm going to make it green, for example, and I want to come in here and I want to select that text. I'm going to come and first thing I'll do is I'll add a dummy text. I can do that either here directly in the canvas or again in the inspector. And I want to change the baseline much as I did in Final Cut. So I'm going to lower this down here so it's kind of centered in my background bar. And I'm going to, speaking of centering, I'm going to center the text, and I will change the font again, for example, to Arial. And that's it. I'm kind of pretty much ready to go. I'm happy with my template here, and I want to save this for Final Cut. I'm going to come up here to the File menu. I'm going to go to Save As, and I need to name my template. I give it an appropriate name. I'm going to save this in the lower thirds category. I've actually made a kind of a subcategory called My Subs. Just going to have a very brief look here on the Finder level. I have 3 folders in the lower thirds folder as of now, and I'm now going to go and publish. And I come in here, and what I see is I now have a 4th folder with the My and Green sub, which I just saved. A word of caution at this point: if I'm going to do this on multiple systems, if I want to move the project to another computer, I would want to take this folder with me. I'm going to move over to Final Cut. I'm in the lower third section. I'm going to come down here into the search window, and I'm going to enter and I see the My Green Subs template, and it's in here in the My Subs section. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to activate my timeline with Command 2, I'm using Final Cut as a player, so it's JKL and left and right arrow keys. Set an in point. I am currently inside Final Cut. Set an out point. Select my title and Q to connect it to my timeline. Come in here and I select my title, and I come and I add the appropriate text. Select my timeline again. Set an in point. I want to look at optimizing the interface. Set an out point. Select my subtitle. Connect it. And of course, I don't necessarily just have to do this on the fly. I could also basically do a copy and paste exercise where I would just basically copy sentences from a transcript here into my titles. The advantage here is I can have these, I have my lower third subtitle as a template, and I can use it in multiple projects, in multiple libraries, and I can even come to the Finder level and I can drag that folder off here to another computer and use it on another system.